Hey guys, Josh from the Ancient History Guy here. Hello and welcome to all. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Anyways, today we are once again diving into the Persian Empire, specifically its founding. Now this is quite an interesting time, filled with myths, political backstabbing, and also just weirdly brilliant ideas to get out of tricky spots. So enough dilly-dallying, let's get into the video. Before we talk about all things Persian, let's talk about its predecessor, the Median Empire. The Median Empire itself had come about as a result of the cruel treatment the various peoples of the region had suffered under the brutal Assyrian Empire. Basically, if there was ever a more fascinating, yet also extremely bloody empire, the Assyrians were that empire. They were extremely warlike and had one of the most professional and technologically advanced armies of the day, and were nearly unbeatable in offensive sieges. Thanks to their many military innovations and brutal slaughtering of civilians on a mass scale, the Assyrians were able to carve out a blood-drenched state for themselves. This empire stretched all the way from Mesopotamia and Iran to the ancient lands of Egypt. Sufficient to say, no one really wanted to be ruled by the Assyrians, but at the same time, everyone was so scared that they were not going to rise up. This was until the Medes and the Babylonians, both relatively important cultural centres, but not so important militarily speaking, decided to ally up and began to overthrow the Assyrian yoke, making good use of hit-and-run tactics. Together with superior firepower, the Medes and their Babylonian allies were eventually able to corner the Assyrians in their capital city, and after a bloody siege, brought an end to the truly awful empire. Splitting the empire between them, the Medes got majority of the lands to the east, whilst the Babylonians took most of Mesopotamia. These new empires were massive and took on many of the administrative and military characteristics of the fallen Assyrian Empire, which had one of the most effective governing bodies in the ancient world. One of the territories in the new Median Empire was Persia, ruled by a client king who had just married the daughter of the Median king. However, there was a problem. The Median king was a little bit on the paranoid side of things. He was also a bit of a sadist, often killing people for fun and then torturing their relatives with their corpses. The king, however, was plagued by a constant nightmare that his daughter's son was going to overthrow him. He had hoped by marrying her off to a small-time king that this dream would not come true, but the dreams kept on coming and coming. Eventually, when news that his daughter had just given birth to a son named Cyrus, the king went into a panic. He quickly sent one of his best generals, Harpagus, to kill the baby. Harpagus, however, found himself unable to do so, and thus spared the child, hiding him away from the sadistic king by swapping him out for a stillborn from a shepherd's family. Cyrus spent much of his youth with this very family, being raised as their own son. It was only after Cyrus insulted a nobleman's son that his identity was revealed. However, the Median king had a sudden change of heart and decided to spare the young prince and send him back to his family. However, as previously mentioned, the Median king was both mad with paranoia and also a sadist. You see, even though he had sent Cyrus home to his family in Persia, as punishment for not fulfilling his wishes, he had Harpagus' son killed and then forced the general to eat a stew made from his remains. Also, when Cyrus was a little bit older, the Median king called him back to the Median capital and basically put him under house arrest. Cyrus, however, was cunning and managed to escape the palace. However, he was quickly caught by a few imperial Median guards. By this point, Cyrus' father had raised the flag of rebellion in a desperate attempt to save his son. Cyrus found himself in a bit of a tough spot. In all likelihood, he was going to die, especially now that his father had raised the flag of rebellion. Cyrus simply had to escape his captors, but the question now was, how? Cyrus came up with an ingenious, if not slightly bizarre solution. You see, the Medes and Persians really liked their alcohol. They believed it was the ultimate way of telling the truth, as this was an important part of their religion. It played quite a big role in their life. Cyrus simply got the guards absolutely blackout drunk, to the point where they didn't even notice him slipping away into the night. Cyrus managed to then reunite with the Persian army, although by this time his father had died on campaign, making Cyrus the king of the Persians. Despite now being king, Cyrus' position was actually worse than it had ever been. You see, the Persian army was still quite small, even with the trickling of fellow discontent tribes gradually adding to their numbers. Worse still, Harpagus had been sent to intercept the rebel army. The Median army was huge and vastly outnumbered the Persians. However, just as the two armies were about to do battle, Harpagus decided to defect. Obviously, being forced to eat his own son didn't exactly go down well with the veteran general, who now became Cyrus' second in command. Within no time, Cyrus and Harpagus had defeated the Median king and had put Cyrus on the Median throne, thus kick-starting the Persian Empire in the process. So, what do I think of this? Well, I think it's a pretty epic story. It also draws a lot of parallels to a lot of other stories about supposedly great and good rulers. You know, how the king is prophesized and the actual sitting king gets scared, so he orders the assassination of the baby, but oh no, the baby isn't actually killed and is raised by a shepherd, and then oh my gosh, here it is, the actual king is still alive and ready to overthrow the corrupt and evil king. I also find it quite funny how Cyrus got his captors so drunk that he was able to just run away once they passed out. Absolute genius. Could this have happened? Yeah, definitely, and it's a largely accepted story. And I like to think this is how it actually went down. What about you? What do you think? Comment down below. Thank you for watching and listening to our videos. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed. All sources are listed and linked in the description below. I've been the Ancient History Guy, and as always, I'll be seeing you later.